It's been a minute since I reacted to the top 100 prospects according to MLB Pipeline in Major League Baseball. So in today's video, that's simply what I'm going to do. Go through all top 100 prospects, give you my thoughts and opinions on their ranking and them as a player. You guys can let me know in the comment section down below who I'm underrating, who I'm getting wrong. Drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel because most of you watching aren't, so make sure you click that sub button. And of course, a big shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks. You'll hear more from them later. All right, getting us started off at number 100, Ike Irish, first round pick back in 2025 out of University of Auburn. He's been mashing this year. After a bit of a slow start last year, has been dominating at high A. I think at some point he's probably going to get called up to double A just because the numbers have looked so good, especially in the power department. And truthfully, as a prospect, while position might be a little more fluid with him, or I should even say a little more limited because of his defensive prowess, the power is legit, and that's always going to play. Ramon Marquez up next. I love to see Ramon Marquez making it on here. The Giants acquired him in the trade for Luis Ariz, which that's incredible value. This is a top 100 prospect. I'm glad to see Pipeline put him up here. He's been absolutely dominating. Granted, in his few starts at high A, especially, I think that's what, the Eugene Emeralds, has been great, but the stuff is really good. The changeup is money. Probably needs to develop either a slider or a curveball to go off that fastball cutter changeup, but at the same time, he's 20 years old at high A ball, pitching pretty well. The stuff is great. That was a fantastic trade for the San Francisco Giants. Number 98, Brady Ebel. Brady Ebel making the top 100. The Brewers, took his brother this year in the draft. Last year, they took him. He is the son, I believe, of the coach. He had Dino Ebel, third base coach for the Los Angeles Dodgers. He's up at high A now. A few games, we're not going to care about those numbers. Did really, really well at low A. He is very much a contact-first guy, but that's what the Brewers look for. They want people who put the ball in play, make good swing decisions, don't strike out a lot. That's exactly what Brady Ebel looks like. And in the field, looks like he's going to be a pretty good shortstop, if not like a great third baseman, I think, because of that arm. Brady Ebel, top 100. Probably a guy who's not in mine, but I like it. He's been playing well. Caden Hunter, admittedly, new name. Was not familiar with his game, but from the left side, fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. Bit of a three-pitch pitcher, something that I think theoretically could have reliever risk in the future, but so far this year, he really has been phenomenal, striking out 138 batters in 94 innings. Fastball from the left side sits around 95, which is way, way, way above average. This is really cool to see for the Orioles, who I think as an organization have taken quite a few steps back at the major league level in terms of what their development was like there, but in the minors, they're really starting to get some guys going. Caden Hunter could be a part of that next group of guys. Gio Rojas, love Gio Rojas. I'm actually shocked to see him in the top 100. He was one of my favorite picks out of the draft this year. I wouldn't rank him top 100 just yet because he is a high school player coming into professional baseball and he hasn't pitched yet, but the stuff is ridiculous. This is a guy who I think by the end of next year could easily be a top 50 prospect in baseball. That's how good I think he is. I'm shocked to see him, though, in the top 100 despite not pitching ever. Nolan Perry, number 95. He feels like a very, very high floor pitcher for me. I don't know if this guy is ever going to be a frontline starter for the Toronto Blue Jays, but the stuff is pretty solid, I would say. I don't necessarily think that there's anything that jumps off the page with Nolan Perry in terms of the pitcher that he is, but this is very much a Major League Baseball pitcher. The strikeouts have been great. He's been limiting walks. I think that those are going to even out as he goes up and up through the minors. But this is a huge win for them. A 12th round pick back in 2022 to turn him into what's going to be definitely a major league starting pitcher. I like seeing guys like Nolan Perry here at the back end of the top 100. Let's have some fun. Before we get going into more prospects, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Prize Picks, America's #1 sports picks app. Use my code HMA when you sign up to get in on a special offer. Play $5 and get $150 in line for free if you win. So click the link in the description, download the Prize Picks app right now, and remember to use my code HMA. Because guys, Prize Picks is so easy to use. Simply select more or less on a few different players, lock them into your lineup, and then see how they do. I'm not gonna lie, I've been on a little bit of a WNBA heater. So my picks today, I'm going with more than 2.5 rebounds for Gabby Williams, more than 1.5 3-pointers made by Veronica Burton, less than 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Isabel Harrison, and more than 1.5 3-pointers made for Jade Melbourne. What's also great is that Prize Picks is available in most states, including California, Texas, Florida, even New York. So what are you waiting for? Download the Prize Picks app right now by clicking the link in the description and use my code HMA when you sign up because new users play $5 and get $150 in lineups if you win. Big thank you to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's get back to it. Murph Gray, a name that people on the windup were upset we did not put in our top 25. I don't think that he is a top 25 guy, but he definitely can mash. And this year at Double A with Altoona and I think lower A, he's been flying through the system. He's been mashing. He's been great for the Pirates. I think there's some legit game power. We're looking at 20 a 25 home run guy, I think, in his career. Is he going to stick at third base? The arm is good, but the glove is not the greatest. I think it's going to be debatable whether he plays third base for the future, which is probably also why he's a little bit lower on these prospect rankings. But the bat's legit, someone who I thought the Mets would possibly be looking for in a trade when they were looking at the Pirates this deadline. Xavier Nyans. I love this dude. Really, really, really sweet left-handed swing. The in-game power is phenomenal. The arm is great. I think he's going to be a third baseman. I don't think he's going to be a shortstop. So again, don't really look into this. The power's been great. I love the exit fields that we've been seeing. 18 home runs and 11 doubles so far. Granted, at Asheville, the numbers get inflated because it's an absolute bandbox, but he's only played 26 games there. I like Nyans a lot. The contact is loud. Owen Ayers, admittedly, would not be in my top 100. Again, I don't really rate catchers or first basemen particularly that high. If I'm going to dock River Ryan points for being so old and being ranked in top 100 prospects, I'm going to do the same for Owen Ayers, who at AAA is been completely okay in a small sample, and he was 25 years old dominating AA. Is not the kind of player that I particularly value on a prospect list, but this is someone who is going to be valuable to the Cubs in terms of a major league roster building, if that makes sense. Steele Hall, number 91, having a great season, all the way up to A-ball. He's been struggling there. He has been trying to make the adjustment coming from rookie ball. It hasn't been great, but again, really, really good athlete. The tools are definitely there, but in order for him to get to that next level, there's going to have to be some real development in terms of the tools being just more polished, more refined, because I do think right now athleticism's carrying a lot. Derek Curiel, number 90, all the way down in rookie ball. I doubt he plays this year just because he was a 5th overall pick this year. I actually really like him for the future. I think projectable-wise, he's a very exciting prospect. I like the athleticism. I like the size. I like the power potential for a guy from Curiel. Similarly, I don't know how to rank these draft guys necessarily who haven't played that weren't the top of the class. But Curiel, sure, I don't care at 90. Joseph Zierwa, I believe that's how you say his name. Zierwa, he looks great. He was in the Futures game. That was kind of when I was first exposed to him. Big, lanky lefty, and he has been phenomenal in the minors. Up to AA, he's been dominating. These numbers are gross. 76 innings, a 1.89 ERA, 85 strikeouts, 18 walks, a whip at .86. Truthfully, I think he should be higher. I think that he's got to be a top 50 guy. So I am going to keep in mind who they rank ahead of him in terms of pitchers, because to me, the math just ain't math in there. I think Zierwa's got to be higher. All right, they're challenging me with the names right here. I believe this is Josh Adamshevsky, which is kind of funny because we're combining Adam Schefter's name into just a last name there. He's a guy who was a top fringe 100 prospect coming into the trade deadline. His name had been floated in some trades. I like him. When I was comping him to Zaire Hope, granted they are different kinds of players, but a lot of what they do is similar in their profile. It's just that Zaire Hope, I think, has a little bit more of a louder power tool. I think that they might still get to similar-ish power, which is kind of the confusing thing. Not talking about that anymore. He's been phenomenal. He's been one of the biggest risers in minor league baseball this year. The Brewers are, they're probably the best now in terms of creating talent in the farm system, right? I think they've become number one in all of baseball in my mind. Charles Davilan follows me on Instagram. Good dude. Yeah, this is a huge win for the Dodgers. Again, 41st overall pick back in last year, and all he has done is mash. He has mashed. He has stole bases. He's playing the outfield. He's a beast. This was a really, really good pick by them. The Dodgers always do a great job. I like that we're not seeing just the blind Dodgers boost, he's a top 50 prospect. I think this is where he belongs for now. He's been very, very good this year. Also, Short King, let's go. Dax Kilby, number 86. I feel like the last time I had checked him out, he was struggling this year. 785, that's better than I thought. Okay, so he started to heat up, just really hasn't played very many games, so maybe that's why I thought he was struggling. I'm assuming he's dealt with some injuries this year. Not someone that I have been particularly keyed into, just because I think there's a lot of time still left for Dax Kilby. Projectability, size-wise, everything is there. I'm interested to see how he looks at shortstop for the future. I don't know if that's necessarily going to be his position. He's a little awkward at times. Probably not a top 100 guy for me at the exact moment, but I also don't mind if he's in it. I get why he would be. Cam Canarella, Clemson dude, he has absolutely flown up lists. He's all the way in AAA. He's been playing really, really well. 400 on base percentage at AAA in his first 30 games, 100 plate appearances. He's been phenomenal. Dominated AA, dominated high A. He's been flying through the system. I believe they're getting better exit velos out of him. He seems like he could be a center fielder because the athleticism and the speed is so good. I don't know what the power will look like at the major league level, especially in Miami, but I think that this is very much a major league outfielder who might even get a September call-up, I feel like. Angel Gomez, this is the new DSL darling from everybody. He is putting up crazy numbers, 9 homers, 13 doubles in 50 games at the DSL, an 1120 OPS. The one thing I will say is there isn't that much correlation to the top DSL performers and automatically becoming superstars. It's more about the guys who stink. They usually just can't really do much of it. That being said, when you put up numbers like this that are eye-popping, yeah, top 100 prospect, he's 17 years old. If this was an American high school player, he'd easily be in the contention. He would be easily the number 1 overall pick right now, and he's 17. Like, that's the way to look at this. There's a world he's even being undervalued right now. He might be, truthfully, like a top 75, maybe even top 50 prospect in the game. That's how good this stuff looks. Whoa, Cooper Fleming. Okay, Cooper Fleming, second-round pick by the Rays last season. Having a really nice year in Charleston. This is just an overall really solid profile. Little more power than I expected to. 10 home runs, 27 doubles. Love to see that. That's like capable enough power where Cooper Fleming will be a solid player, especially because, again, like, I think he's going to be more of a utility infielder, but I think there's a world where he could play shortstop, especially because this is the Rays, and they always get a bunch out of their prospects, but that's great to see Cooper Fleming there. Caceres making the list up next. I'm not saying his first name. There's absolutely no way. He's been another huge riser this year. The Guardians have one of these guys, I feel like, every single year at 19 already up to high A, 69 games overall this year, 17 of those being at high A. He's someone who, admittedly, I don't have the hottest of takes on just yet, but he's been rising through their system, so someone to keep an eye out for. Francisco Renteria is another one of the absolute DSL darlings. I think that this guy could legitimately be a top 50 prospect in baseball right now. I wouldn't be shocked. Another one with massive, massive power, good swing decisions. The in-game power is crazy for a 17-year-old. He's also a good athlete. This just feels like a future, bold claim, maybe. I think that in a couple years, this could be a top 10 prospect in the league based on what we've seen. And again, I don't normally like doing that about DSL guys. Kevin Alvarez, one of the best prospects in a horrible Astros farm system. He's had a great season at Fayetteville, showing some in-game power, showing the athleticism, showing the speed. He's going to be a quite good outfielder, I think. More so corner, not in the center, but I do love that left-handed swing. It's really, really quick. 79, Justin Gonzalez. I think this is a fair spot, but I also think at the same time, Justin Gonzalez is doing stuff that a lot of top 40, even sometimes top 30 prospects get a lot of credit for. Again, 19 years old, up in AA. The power is crazy. This is a guy who, as long as the Red Sox can figure out how to make him play the outfield acceptably, he becomes infinitely more valuable. I am worried about DH concerns for him just because he's not a good athlete by any means in terms of speed and running, but at the same time, the power to me is so ridiculous to all fields that this is a bat that could be super, super dangerous, not in just Fenway Park, but any ballpark. I'm a huge Justin Gonzalez guy. Carson Milbrandt making the top 100. Like to see that. He had been great in AAA. I think of late he's been getting roughed up, but this is a guy who is a stuff demon. 3 good pitches, all good stuff. There definitely needs to be improved control and command from him, but at the same time, for the Marlins 22-year-old, this is another one of their prospects coming up through the system that I expect to make an impact next year. Number 77, Caden Scarborough. I'm actually surprised he's not a little bit higher because, again, I really, really like this stuff. I guess because he's struggling a little bit at high A, but the fastball slider are 2 plus pitches, they're being graded out here. Mid 90s with the fastball. I think that there's more inside of it. He's a huge dude. The slider is nasty. The changeup is fine. I think, again, needs to be a little bit better, but Caden Scarborough, again, maybe this is fair, 77. My boy, Jefferson Rojas, number 76, like to see it. He's been playing great at Binghamton so far in his small sample with the Mets. Going to be a third baseman, which is probably going to dock him some points on these rankings because they do value shortstops over third baseman typically, but I think this is a guy who could be in the majors next year for the Mets. He's that good. Demetrio Crisante's cracking the top 100. Okay, so he's been up and down and up and down and up and down. And I'll be honest, not my favorite profile in terms of a player. I think the in-game power is a little bit questionable over a full major league season. The bat-to-ball skills are great, and that's something that I've overlooked in the past. You have good bat-to-ball skills, you can develop the power. He's not a small dude, but he's also not a big guy. 7th-round pick, I think he'll just be a good infield player for the Diamondbacks for the foreseeable future. I don't see the super high ceiling. Merrick Houston coming in at number 74. Impressed with what we've seen from him thus far. I probably need to talk about these guys a little bit faster. We're 15 minutes in. I've covered 25 prospects. Houston's on his way to being a very, very capable shortstop at the major league level. Again, I had concerns with his power, and he's kind of quashed those a little bit. Johnny Farmello, feel like I've been hearing his name forever, has not been good at AA this year. In a very small sample, only 14 games. I feel like we probably not a top 100 prospect anymore, truthfully. Not a guy that I was particularly checking in on too much right now. I think he's a good player. I just don't know if he's top 100 right now. I definitely don't think top 75. Braylon Dowdy, Guardians do this all the time. They find these interesting little pitchers, has just really, really good breakers. We need the fastball to probably tick up a little bit, but it plays off the curveball slider changeup really well. The command is really good, so I think that's what's been helping him a lot. Like, he's had a great year. Seaver King, okay, shortstop, second base for him. I guess they're considering putting him at second base, even though I wonder if he'd be better at shortstop than CJ Abrams defensively right now. Abrams at second base. I kind of love the idea there. Seaver King, though, has had an awesome season. Again, I wasn't sure what the power would look like for Seaver King. Not someone that I projected to be a guy who could hit like 25 home runs in a season. Probably still can't right now. Probably more in that 15 to 20 range, but that's good. That's a good ball player with good defense. Josh Hammond. Ooh, I like Josh Hammond. This dude was a beast in the combine. Put up some crazy loud exit velos in 2025. Crushing it for the Columbia Fireflies, although the power is not as strong as we had hoped. That's something to keep an eye out for. Would he be a top 100 prospect on my list? Probably not. Probably not, honestly. That's why I was a little surprised. Josue Briseño making the top 70 here. I mean, he's just been mashing this year. He's been hitting in the very small sample. He's got big exit velos. I think there's a weird world where the Tigers are like hoping for Victor Martinez 2.0. Is that a lazy take? I know he's not a switch hitter, but let me know your guys' thoughts. I love comping players to players that have previously been in an organization, and it feels like a guy who's not particularly the most athletic, but really, really good with the bat in his hands. That feels similar positions like Victor Martinez like. Harlan Susana. Harlan Susana is electric. I don't care about the numbers. In terms of stuff, there might not be a better two-pitch combo in minor league baseball. 104 with the fastball. The slider's like 93 miles an hour, and it moves at an unbelievable rate. Or is that the changeup that's 93? Whatever. He throws unbelievably hard. That's all I care about. He was the like throw-in on the Juan Soto trade, which is crazy. But yeah, I love him. Jacob Lombard, 67, 6'7", nice. I'll be honest, I like Jacob Lombard. I think I ranked him higher than he was picked in the draft. I don't think at this exact moment he's a top 75 prospect in the game. I think that's a little aggressive, but I mean, I also don't care. Good for him. River Ryan, I'm not going to talk much about him. He's 28 years old, guys. I'm sure he's going to be a good baseball player. I just absolutely hate this conversation, so I'm done with it. I won't continue to have it. Nathan Flewelling. Again, this is probably where I disagree with catcher rankings. He seems like he's going to be a completely fine catcher, and he's absolutely mashed so far this year. I am very, very interested to see how he gets higher and higher in the levels. Granted, he's dominated at A-ball, or I should say high A-ball. It's just the catchers, they take a different beating. That bat feels like it takes a bigger hit as you go up through the level. So just need to see more. Tyler Bell, 64. I like Tyler Bell too. I'm shocked he's this high. I like him a lot. Thought he's a great player. I think probably not a top 100 prospect in my eyes at this exact moment. That's high. If he was going to make this, I would have put him in like the 90s range. Iva Arquette, love Iva Arquette. I think it's been a pretty decent year for him. I think in terms of power, we've been seeing some good stuff. Got all the way up to AA, has been playing good enough, showing more power up there. I do think he'll end up playing shortstop for the future. He's a big dude. I think there's some big power still to come from Iva Arquette. He was one of my favorite picks back in 2025. Billy Carlson, 62. Okay, Billy, let's see what you're doing. Yeah, I mean, like, I think the power concern is legit. The fact that there's no home run this year, I don't love in 60 games. I think in-game power is different sometimes to the other stuff. Now, granted, it looks like he's going to be a very good shortstop, and that's something that I think that they value a lot more than necessarily me. Gold Glove level shortstop, puts the ball into play, gets on base. Those are big things, but I gotta see some pop. Again, probably a borderline top 100 for me. I think this is a little high. Aiden Miller at 61. He has dealt with some injuries this year. I've been feeling bad for this dude. He hasn't even played. Like, we probably can't be ranking him in the top 100 at this moment, having not played in 2026. I know this stuff previously has been like really good. Like, I like Aiden Miller as a player, but the injuries are such a problem for him right now, and just missing an entire year of development is really difficult. If he is in the top 100, again, I think he's probably in that 80 to 100 range. Tate Southesine. Yeah, this one hurts. This was a guy who was available by, some certain teams that could have drafted him. He has been awesome this year. The power has shown up more than I originally expected. Felt very much like a toolsy ball player in terms of like contact and getting on base profile. I did not expect him to have this much pop, and that completely changes the profile of Tate Southesine. Like, yeah, this is a great spot for him to be ranked. I think he's a borderline top 50 guy. Joshua Baez, talked about him all the way back in 2021 when he got drafted. I called him the next Aaron Judge. Ridiculous comment, of course. And of course, I ran with it on Twitter, which you always got to do for the content. Insane raw power, really good athlete, cannon of an arm. Like, I like Josh Baez. He is definitely going to struggle at the major league level because the swing decisions are all over the place, and I think like zone whiff is nuts, but I do like Joshua Baez. Charlie Condon, I like to see that he's finally getting some recognition again back on these lists. He's been dominating. Granted, it's Albuquerque. The ball flies there. The PCL is ridiculous. It's such a hitter-friendly environment, but we know he hits the ball hard, and he's going to do well in Coors. Hopefully see him maybe September, right before like he becomes a Rookie of the Year eligible guy. Jamie Arnold at number 57. It's going to be tough to pitch in Sacramento, but if there's a guy who can do it, I think Jamie Arnold will be quite good at it. I just like him as a pitcher. Good stuff from Florida State. My boy, Lazaro Montes. I know that I just like have a prospect crush on him because people always tell me his whiff rate and his zone rate, like they're all horrible, and I get it. There's no one in Major League Baseball that has his profile that's successful, but he's got 37 home runs, and the exit velos are crazy. Like, just stick him at DH. I don't care if he can't play the outfield. Stick him at DH, tell him to take war hacks. He's going to run into 30 home runs a year. Huge Lazaro Montes fan. Another Rockies prospect making it on here, Roldy Brito, a name that I've been looking into more and more. Definitely athlete first, but he's been putting crazy contact together all the way up to high A as a 19-year-old, which you love to see. The power's been good enough. Like, this is someone to keep an eye out for. Very, very toolsy, developing power, good athlete. These are the kind of guys that you could really get away with as like, oh, all of a sudden, it's a top 25 prospect in the game. Kendry Chorio, he was awesome last year, and he's been awesome this year. Absolutely love what he's done between Columbia and Quad Cities. He's just been one of the best pitchers in minor league baseball. A very unique profile, a smaller dude, very slight, but 3+ pitches and incredible command. Love Kendry Chorio. Robbie Snelling, we know, out for the year with the injury. That part's tough, but Robbie Snelling was great when he was healthy. Still think he will be. Travis Sikora hasn't pitched this year, coming back from injuries, but again, similarly to Harleen Susana, the stuff is out of control. I don't mind. He's one of the few guys that missing time doesn't bother me because pitchers are always going to have these surgeries, but the stuff is ridiculous. The swing and miss is ridiculous. The pitch mix is ridiculous, and the size is ridiculous. Caden Bodine. It's got to be Bodine, right? Caden Bodine, he was part of the Shane Baz trade from the Orioles. I'm shocked at how much he has flown through the system. The dude is absolutely mashing, and I think the big thing here, gonna stick a catcher. I think that this is a major league catcher. Switch hitter, too, is so valuable coming out of Coastal Carolina. Phenomenal job by the Rays here. Felnin Celestine, wow, top 50 prospect. Okay, dude, got all the way up to Double-A because he dominated high A. Love to see that. This was a former, top money getter in the international free agency, back in 2023, $4.7 million. That's so much. But he's finally starting to put it together, which is crazy that it's taken 3 years and he's still only 20 years old. But this is probably a future top prospect in baseball, especially if we see him end the Double-A season on a high note. Anthony Ianson, one of my favorite prospects in the game. He's top 25 in my opinion. I think he's one of the best pitchers in minor league baseball. Save me with he loses velo because he only goes short outings, like 3-4 innings at a time. I don't care. That's how you develop pitchers. That's how you work on guys with nasty stuff. It's not possible for him to go 100% for 100 pitches right now, but he doesn't need to because it's minor league baseball. The stuff is ridiculous. I love it. Bryce Rayner. Bryce Rayner is going to be a future top 10 prospect in baseball. He is so ridiculously good. Now that he's healthy, the swing. Love Bryce Rayner. I think he was possibly my favorite guy in 2024. I kept comping him, I think, to Corey Seager, which is probably not fair. But I love the swing. I think he's a good shortstop. This is the shortstop of the future for me for the Detroit Tigers. He's a beast. Johnny Level. Now, I'm going to say this. My blind spot are these guys on the Giants. I'm not particularly thrilled about some of the guys higher up. Johnny Level, though, 17 home runs. Yo, where did these come from? Hold on a second, Johnny Level. So why is Johnny Level below Josuar Gonzalez when I feel like Johnny's maybe even a better fielder? Is because he's just so much older. We're going to have to check Josuar, too. If Johnny's putting together this power, I don't know if Josuar's got the power that Johnny does. Maybe I just don't know the raw exit velos. It's totally possible that I'm wrong here. These guys got to at least be closer. I think Josuar's a top 20 guy on this from last time I checked. Tyler Bremner, number 46. Good for Tyler Bremner. A bit of a surprise taking at number 2 overall. Great story for him. Really sad off the field stuff with his mom. But he's good. I actually love this pick. I know that in this draft at number 2, it didn't really make sense. But if you're the Angels and you want someone who I think has a chance to maybe make the majors next year, This could be a guy, could be a part of your rotation for the future. Do I see number one potential? Probably not, unless that slider gets better. Again, fastball changeup's really tough from the right side to be like a true ace, but the stuff's really good that he does have. Michael Arroyo, is he going to get a call up? Is he playing well enough to get the call up soon? Probably. The Mariners need hitting help so bad, and one thing that Michael Arroyo does is mash. I don't think he's going to be a particularly good defensive second baseman or outfielder, but if he hits at the level that he has so far in his minor league career, you'll take it. Liam Doyle, number 44. All right, Liam, I mean, from the left side throws like upper 90s, which is huge. Slider, cutter, splitter. It's a fun pitch mix from the left side, not something that we see a lot of. And this year, despite having a little bit of like a roller coaster up and down, has had some issues with the walks. The stuff speaks for itself. That's why he's getting ranked inside the top 50. Same thing with Cam Caminiti. The stuff speaks for itself. He has better numbers, but also at a lower level. He's up to AA now. Damn. One thing that the Braves do, they do develop the shit out of pitching. They're done a great job over like the last 20 years doing so, and it feels like Caminiti is a part of that next crop. Eric Hartman's probably going to be one of their biggest W's ever in terms of drafting. This dude was taken the 20th round. I believe he's Canadian, which is part of the reason why he fell. Also, I think concerns that he was going to go to college instead. He's awesome. Eric Hartman's really, really good. He can play center field. The power's legit. He's a good athlete. I'm actually thinking that this is a little bit low for Eric Hartman. Also, I'm hearing myself say it, and it sounds like I'm saying Eric Cartman. It's Eric Hartman with an H. Drew Burris, 41. I was watching some videos from Aram Layton over at Just Baseball talking about his prospect rankings. A little disappointed with the exit velos that we've seen so far from Drew Burris, but he is mashing. He is mashing. We haven't seen the highs that we saw with Metal, but also there's like a weird kind of like off period coming back into it. I like Drew Burris a lot. I thought he was being undervalued in the draft just because every single place he's ever been, he just mashes like he did at Georgia Tech. And what do you know? He's doing it again for the A's. This bold opinion, I think he gets a look next year at the major league level. Just bold take. Eric Booth Jr. at number 40. Someone who has got all the raw tools and people are really high on. I wasn't the highest, but you know, there's definitely some ability there. To me, I wouldn't have him as a top 100 prospect. In my opinion, I definitely think top 40 is really, really aggressive, especially when, like, I like Eric Hartman a lot more. I like Bryce Rayner a lot more. I like Felton Celestin a lot more. There's names, I like Roldy Brito more. Like, there's names I like more. I think that this is a ceiling play, which is why I'm at 40. I just think it's a little aggressive. Josiah Hartshorn. Good dude. Also just followed me on Instagram. Shout out to him. Switch hitting for power at the minor leagues. He's been one of the biggest risers in all of minor league baseball this year. Again, 6th round pick last year in 2025. Phenomenal. He rocks. Really, really good power. Arjun Namala. Love that trade for the Angels. It's never great to give up Jose Soriano, but to get a guy like Namala, who I think will eventually become the future shortstop for the Angels when they eventually trade off of Zach Neto, which feels like it could be coming this offseason or next trade deadline. Namala's a really good ball player, crazy good power, hangs out with Francisco Lindor. I kind of don't hate the Lindor comp, even though they're not the same, but if you feel me, if you know what I'm saying. Thomas White's really good. There's no way around it. Thomas White is a good left-handed pitcher, dealt with injuries this year, so like I get if you wanted to dock him some points, but in terms of stuff from the left side, 21 years old, yeah, he would have been at the majors this year. Christian Zazueta, fun fact, I did not realize Zazueta came from the Yankees org. I think for Caleb Ferguson, this is a top 25 prospect in my opinion. I think the stuff's really good. The fastball is awesome. I like Zazueta a lot. Edward Florentino at number 35. I think he hit his 20th home run the other day, right? Now he's got 24. I might have even been far behind. He absolutely mashes. There's definitely some swing and miss concern, but the power is legit, and I think he's going to be able to play the outfield pretty well. Seems to be a good enough athlete for me. I like Florentino a lot. Sweet left-handed swing. Kalen Culpepper, I wouldn't rank him because now he's at the majors, but seems like a really good player. Like, good ball player, Kalen Culpepper. Shouldn't be ranked on here, though. I hate when they do that stuff. Gage Wood, one of the fastest risers in terms of pitching prospects this year. Don't look at the ERA. Again, the fastball is one of the best in the minor leagues. The curveball slider is disgusting. You saw him dominate in college baseball. I believe he threw a no-hitter in the College World Series. Was that right? Or 19 strikeouts, something like that. Gage Wood's awesome. Ralphie Velasquez, I think, has hit 15 home runs in his last 20 games, which doesn't really sound real. I don't really know what the Guardians are waiting for. It's probably time to call him up. He's just got good game power. They could use more oomph. Jackson Flora at number 31. Whoa. That feels a little bit high to me. I love Jackson Flora. I think he is awesome. And I love the fact that he'll be able to pitch in San Francisco. Because I do think that there's a world where he could be susceptible to the fly ball, which means he's susceptible to the long ball. The stuff is great. Like, I thought that he was being undervalued in the draft this year as a college pitcher with the stuff that he had. Caleb Bonnemer at number 30. Love Caleb Bonnemer. I think that this is just going to be a 30 home run a year guy at the major league level at some point. The power's legit. Don't think he's playing shortstop, though. Think he's playing third. Angel Hanao, you've seen him at the major league level, contact king. I don't think that he should be ranked on here. It just feels like he's a contact hitting guy. Zaire Hope at number 29. Or 28, my bad. I thought it said 29. Why is this doing this? 28, Zaire Hope. I believe he's been struggling big time since getting to Erie. Yeah, not been looking good, but this happens. There's a lot of pressure. It's not really fair to the kid because he was straight for Tarek Skubal and promised to be like this big piece. A lot of expectations. I'm going to kind of write off the rest of the second half this year, see what he does next season, because the power is good. Like, I don't want it to be taken away how good of a prospect Zaire Hope is, because I thought it was an underwhelming package. All right, Luis Hernandez, 17 years old at A-ball, playing shortstop and third base. Been doing pretty well so far. I think at A-ball his numbers are, like 595 in 20 games. I don't really care. Again, I don't think he's a top 25-ish prospect, but that's fine. I think we just pump the brakes a little bit. The Giants prospects are getting crazy helium right now, and I'm not completely sold. JoJo Parker, I think, is a borderline top 25 guy. Had him in mind. Good power, good plate discipline. He does strike out a lot, but the plate discipline is good, if that makes sense. Just big hacks. Ethan Holiday definitely could have been in a top 25 prospects for my rankings. He's been mashing this year. Very small sample. Again, dealing with injuries. I don't know what's going on there. But when he plays, he hits the baseball quite well. Emil Morales, one of my favorite prospects. Again, I like boom or bust guys. Emil Morales is a bit of that. Not as much, but strikes out a lot. Strikes out a lot, but the power is legit. 24 homers, 31 doubles so far this year. Probably more of a third baseman than shortstop, but he's a big dude, 19 years old. From the Canary Islands. Ethan Salas at number 23. I'm starting to get hip to him again. I'm starting to believe a little bit in Salas. He's at least going to be a very, very good defensive major league catcher, and he's showing at AAA. I think the bat's good enough. I think the bat's good enough to play with that elite defense at the major league level. Alfredo Duno is someone who I don't think will be a catcher at the major league level for very long. I do think that he's going to absolutely mash at the major league level, though. Big power potential from him. Takes absolute war hacks at 20 years old up in AA. I love the hit profile from Duno. I don't believe he'll be a catcher in the long term. Luis Pena, number 21. Again, guy that they did not want to trade for Tarek Skubal. Pena now up to AA in Biloxi. He's a good ball player. I think maybe more of a second baseman. I don't think the glove is that great to play short, so maybe he goes to third because of the good arm, but really good hitter. I like Luis Pena a lot. Good exit velos. Eduardo Quintero, one of the most exciting prospects in all of minor league baseball. Big power, big athleticism, is going to be a center fielder. This is going to be a future top 10 prospect in the league, maybe even a top 5 guy. Von Lackey got up to high A already because of how well he performed in low A. Again, catching prospects, I am very, very cautious of. Van Lackey is not a top 25 prospect in my rankings, but I do think he's quite good. I think I have PTSD with Georgia Tech catchers. I wonder why that could be. Kevin Parada. Rainiel Rodriguez. I caught a lot of shit for not ranking him higher on my rankings. Listen, he mashes. The bat is disgusting. There's no doubt about it. I think some of the swing decisions are iffy at times. I want to see what he does as he keeps getting higher and higher. He's only 19 years old. The bat's sick. I'm just very, very concerned about the defense. I don't know if he has a position in the field. They're going to try to find him one, though, because the bat is that good. Okay, this is it. Josuar Gonzalez. I admittedly don't get the hype, but maybe it's just because, again, I'm not someone who's going crazy about batting average, and maybe I should. Maybe this is my mistake. I don't see the power being particularly crazy right now, but then again, he's 18 years old, turning 19 in a month or two. Hitting 354 at the 460 on base is pretty sick, though. Maybe I did mess this one up. Maybe he is pretty good. You know what? I'm probably just being a hater. Maybe not 460 on base at 18. Yeah, I messed that one up. He's a top 25 prospect. Apologies to the Josuar Gonzalez family and Giants fans. Mike Sirota, all-around good player, putting up 1,000 OPS for the year, playing center field. That Tulsa Drillers team is one of the best minor league teams ever. These guys we've talked a lot about on the windup as well as this channel, so we're going to just kind of speed through them. Walker Jenkins finally starting to be a little more healthy than he has in the past. I don't know what the curse is with athletic Twins outfielders. Him, Emmanuel Rodriguez, Byron Buxton can't stay healthy, but what do you know when he plays? He is phenomenal. The power potential is legit. George Lombard, Max Clark, get off the list. You're not going to be prospects anymore. We obviously know you're very good. Theo Gillen, I think needs to be ranked higher. I think this is like a borderline top 5 prospect in the game, especially with some of the graduations that are happening. He is a absolute beast. Great power, sick athleticism, 21 homers, 20 doubles. This stuff is great. I love Theo Gillen as a ball player. Rock Chalowski, this is my Troy Tulowitzki comp that, a lot of people also say. I think the floor is Dansby, the ceiling is Troy Tulowitzki. Yeah, that's a borderline top 10 prospect. And then Grady Emerson is the guy who people think could actually end up being the best person in this class. Number 2 overall by the Tampa Bay Rays. Really big dude. He is a phenomenal shortstop. That's really where he separates himself, is that he could be a Gold Glove winning shortstop at the major league level, where I like Rock's hit tool a little bit more, but Grady is also phenomenal. Like, these guys are going to be neck and neck for a while. Sebastian Walcott finally coming back from injury, looking pretty good because the dude is an absolute hoss. I don't think he's going to play short in the future. I think he's a third baseman, but the power is that of someone who could probably sneak in a 40 home run season in his career or two. Ryan Sloan, one of the best pitching prospects in baseball. He's awesome. Me and James over on the Windup, we debate Sloan versus Anderson. I like Anderson more than Sloan. He likes Sloan more than Anderson. We both agree they're top 10 prospects in the game. Disgusting. Same thing with Seth Hernandez. Unbelievable stuff. Unbelievable first year in pro ball. Fastball's ridiculous. Curveball, slider, changeup. He's like polished at 20 in one professional year of baseball. Like, ridiculous. Josue DePaula, I think you probably put him at number 4 in terms of prospects. This is a guy who is going to be an impact bat, it feels like, immediately. It's crazy to say, but like, guys who have done similar to this at the age that he's at don't really come around too often. 21 dominating AA like he is, hitting over 300 with power and getting on base. Like, this is superstar level stuff. We talked about Cade Anderson. He's at the major league level. I think he's ridiculous. I think he's so good. The stuff is unbelievable. Like, how the Mariners just got so blessed with such an amazing pitching organization. They have a down year in terms of the pitchers. This guy comes up and he's awesome. Eli Willits might be the number 1 prospect in baseball. Like, middle of next year, just because Made, DeVries, and Arias could all be up. He's ridiculous. The power growth that we've seen from Eli Willits, like, that was the biggest concern for him, was that great in the field, going to be a shortstop for a while, good athlete, good bat-to-ball skills. The Nationals have done really, really good stuff this year. And again, this is probably something that I need to take more note of, especially now with modern player development. And we saw it with the draft. Contact guys are easy to get more power out of, especially when you get them young, which sounds insane to say out loud. But these younger prospects with great bat-to-ball skills, you can get the power out of them simply just by hitting the gym and getting the bat speed up. And I feel like that's what's happened with Eli Willits. Franklin Arias at number 3, probably going to play a little more second base just because I think Story's rehabbing. Arias is great, though. Really, really good ball player. He was a contact first guy who popped off for power this year. 23 home runs, 23 doubles. That was just not even close in the past. And then DeVries and Made, you know enough about them. They're the 2 best players in baseball. These are superstars in the making. These are franchise-altering players. That's how good both of them are. El Mutante, Jesus Made, 2 of the best names in all of baseball. I'd love to know what you guys think about the MLB Pipeline Top 100 Prospects down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the content. And you know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload, so click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.